Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Have you ever felt like you were in a really tough spot, maybe a little scared or unsure of what to do next? Well, today we're diving into an incredible story from the book of Exodus that shows how, even in the scariest times, there's a plan for us. It's the story of a tiny baby who would grow up to change the world. Baby Moses. Let's set the scene. A long, long time ago in Egypt, the Israelite people were growing in number. They were strong, they were many. And this made the ruler, Pharaoh, very nervous. He was afraid they might become too powerful, so he made a terrible, heartbreaking rule. Every baby boy born to an Israelite family had to be thrown into the Nile River. Can you imagine the fear and sadness that spread through the land? It was a dark and frightening time. But in the midst of this darkness, there was a glimmer of hope and incredible bravery. One Israelite mother, named Jochebed, gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. When she looked at him, her heart filled with so much love. She just couldn't follow Pharaoh's cruel order. So, she did something incredibly courageous. For 3 whole months, she hid her baby, keeping him safe and quiet, away from the eyes of Pharaoh's guards. Every cry was muffled, every moment was a risk. But a baby can't stay hidden forever. As he grew, Jochebed knew she needed a new plan. Her love for her son gave her a brilliant, daring idea. She took a basket made of reeds, a material called papyrus, and carefully waterproofed it with tar and pitch. It became a tiny, floating ark. With a heavy heart but a hopeful prayer, she placed her precious baby inside. Then, she gently set the basket adrift among the reeds along the bank of the Nile River, the very river that was meant to be a place of sorrow. She didn't just leave him there alone, though. She asked her daughter, Miriam, the baby's older sister, to watch from a distance and see what would happen. Miriam, a brave girl herself, hid and kept a close eye on her little brother, her heart probably pounding in her chest. Now, here's where the story takes an amazing turn. Who do you think came down to the river to bathe that day? None other than Pharaoh's own daughter, the princess. As she and her attendants walked along the riverbank, she noticed something unusual among the reeds. A basket. Curious, she sent one of her servants to go and get it. When she opened the lid, her eyes fell upon the baby boy. He was crying, and her heart immediately went out to him. She knew right away this must be one of the Hebrew babies. But instead of being afraid or following her father's cruel law, she felt compassion. She felt love for this tiny, helpless child. Seeing her chance, brave Miriam came out from her hiding spot. She walked up to the princess and cleverly asked, "Shall I go and get one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?" The princess thought this was a wonderful idea and said, "Yes, go." And who do you think Miriam went to get? Her own mother, Jochebed, the baby's mom, was brought before the princess. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this baby and nurse him for me, and I will pay you." Can you believe it? Not only was Jochebed's baby safe, but she was now being paid to care for her own son. It was a miracle hiding in plain sight. So, Jochebed took her baby, whose name we now know as Moses, home and cared for him. When he was old enough, she brought him back to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She raised him in the royal palace as a prince of Egypt. A little baby, saved from the river in a basket, was now living in the very house of the man who had ordered his death. What an incredible story, right? It shows us that even when things seem hopeless, when the world feels scary and uncertain, there is a greater plan at work. God was watching over that little baby in the basket. He protected Moses through the love of his mother, the courage of his sister, and the compassion of a princess. This story is a beautiful reminder that we are always looked after, even when we can't see the way forward. There's always hope. Thanks so much for listening today. If this story inspired you, please give this video a thumbs up. And hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next one. We'd love to have you as part of our community. See you next time.